My friends, welcome to this episode of the Outdoor Gear Review. For this trip, I'm in Colorado. I've been off trail for about 30 minutes, and I can't wait to see what we get into together. Oftentimes when I come to this state, I'm here for epic views. But with this trip, it's different. This trip is all about complete and total exploration. I'm in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by absolutely no one. It's just you and I, and we're out for an adventure. For this adventure, I am in the Pike National Forest. And instead of views, this trip is all about that unique feeling when you're not sure where you're at, you've never been there before, you don't know what's right around that corner, and you can go anywhere you want to. There's no right way, there's no wrong way. It's thrilling, it's exciting. It is middle July, folks, and let me tell you, the mosquitoes out here are awful. They are really bad. The repellent that I'm using, it is a military product, a new military product. This is Bullseye Bug Repellent. It was just recently adopted by the US military. It was assigned an NSN number. The active ingredient is something I cannot pronounce. Listen to these squirrels. That makes me feel like I'm at home. Now it's getting quiet that I'm getting close. Now you may be wondering, where's Susie? Susie is at the van. She's having an off day. We've been on the road, let's see, this is going on 8-9 days, something like that. So she's having an off day. We've been filming this trip out west here. We've been to South Dakota. We spent roughly 4 days there, had an amazing time. If you didn't see the first part of this adventure, make sure to check it out, because South Dakota is amazingly beautiful. All right, everyone, I gotta be honest. I'm having a hard time breathing. We are a little bit over 10,000 feet, and I am just huffing and puffing. For now, I'm just heading up on top of this ridge, picking and choosing my direction. Of course, I'm having to vary and veer because there is no path here. This is what the forest is like. As I travel, I'm going slow. I'm paying close attention to everything around me. For an example, we have deer poop. I'm watching for rattlesnakes. I'm looking for bear sign. I'm looking for mountain lions, signs of mountain lions, and so on. Inside of my chest rig here, I do have my handgun. I have a paper map, a compass. At the same time, I'm using my phone to record this trek as a backup. If you are going to go off trail, you have to be smart about it. And I'll talk more about that later on in this episode. I just came across this mushroom and a thought came to mind. Sometime back I was watching YouTube. It's an outdoor channel. I'm not going to mention any names. The channel that I'm talking about, they focus a lot on wild edibles. So in that episode, they came across a mushroom. One buddy said to the other guy, "Is this edible?" And the other guy says, "I think so." I think so is probably the scariest answer you can possibly receive. That is not what you want to hear from an outdoor expert. I remember watching that and just being like, what the fuck? What the? Here this guy is going around trying to tell people to eat this, eat that. The simple fact is that most people should not be eating wild edibles out of the forest. If you haven't been trained hands-on with a specific area about what's edible, don't eat it. Books and guides are a good resource, but they only offer roughly 50% of the information that you need. That's why you need that hands-on education. You need to be told, you need to be shown the different growth stages. You need to see the plants that look just like those. I'm definitely heading up on top of this mountain. I can now see some of the other mountains out here. By the way, the temperature data, that's not accurate. It is not 61 degrees. It was 61 degrees when I lost service this morning when I was making my way out here. This watch does not have a built-in thermometer, but it connects to your phone and uses data that way. But it does have a built-in GPS, and that's how I use it mostly. Now that I've looked this area over, I'm going to stop for a break here, just dry off. The reason why I looked on both sides of this fallen tree is for rattlesnakes. Oftentimes they will hide in the shade. So you have to be careful about the logs you're stepping over and the ones that you're sitting on. Whew. The air is thin, folks. It's been a while since I've been out here, but it is beautiful. There's a nice breeze, clouds in the sky. As you all have seen, I have my chest rig on. Inside of this, I have bug repellent, batteries for the camera. I also have my handgun for quick access. The primary threat for this trip is mountain lion. I don't expect to have a problem, but you have to be careful. You have to be able to protect yourself. There's a saying, and it goes something along this, like when seconds count, help is only minutes away. And in this case, help is hours away. So that's an important lesson to come to grips with. You may be anti-gun, whatever. I'm not going to try to convince you otherwise. That's not the point of the channel. But the point is this, and you can't argue this point. You have to be able to take care of yourself. You have to protect yourself. So if you're going to head out in locations like this, if you're going to do something like this, if you're going to head out anywhere, you have to be able to take care of yourself. It's super, super important. Already there's a risk about being out here. And if you can't take care of yourself, you're adding to that risk. Think of it this way. You wouldn't go out into the desert without water, right? It's the same sort of thing. I'm sure you all have noticed the backpack that I'm wearing for this trip. It's unusual, isn't it? This is a hot shot backpack, a wildland firefighter's backpack. You can see when I'm wearing this, it carries very low like a lumbar pack, with the back being mostly open, so ventilation is top notch with this system. It doesn't carry a whole lot. You can add on to it, you can create more space, but anytime I'm using this pack, I'm going minimal, I'm going lightweight. The heaviest component here is the water. I have quite a bit of water with me. Speaking of which, let's drink some. All right, everyone, let's keep on going. Whoa. Well, I can tell you this much. Things have changed as far as the weather goes. It is getting dark and we have some thunderheads building. Luckily, they're going away from us for now, but we may have some action in a little while. When it comes to the Pike Forest, this is not the first time that I've been here. In fact, I've been to the Pike National Forest many times. And that's because this place is huge. It is extremely expansive, and there's a ton of area to explore. With that being said, I've never been to this area before. This is all brand new, and that's what makes it so exciting. I'm definitely getting up here, everyone. I have a nice view now. Whew. The air is thin. As I was coming up here, I was thinking a little bit more about the point I was making in regards to being able to protect yourself. It's no different than using a GPS unit. It's no different than learning how to read a map and use a compass. It's all about being responsible, not only for yourself, but everyone else. If you go out, you have a problem, you're going to become somebody else's problem. Someone has to come out and look for you. They have to rescue you. That puts them at risk. The forest up here is just beautiful. There's a nice breeze coming through the trees. That's getting stronger as we go up. It's beginning to feel like I might be close to the top of this mountain. We're now at 11,024. And when it got started, before I turned the camera on, I was down around 9. Let's see what's up here. Let's see if this is the top. Take a look at this, everyone. That is a huge ant's nest. And I do mean huge. I just heard the very first clap of thunder right over here. It's getting rather dark over here. Ooh, it's getting dark over here too. I tell you what, to be on the safe side, I'm going to head down a little bit. It's best not to be on top of this mountain during a nasty thunderstorm, so I'm going to head down a little bit and find a place to camp for the night. This was super nice though, but all of this looks rather intimidating. Look at this ant nest, everyone. That thing is gigantic. That tree right there is about 5 feet tall for scale. So it's like 2 huge nests. Well, folks, this is not bad. I definitely can make this work. It's flat enough. I can get my tarp set up here. Yeah, I think this will do. I'll tell you what. It's not the mosquitoes that are terrorizing me at the moment, it's the black flies. They are relentless. So this bug repellent does not affect them at all. They don't care. In that regards, simple off performs better. I really don't want my jacket on, but it is better than being eaten alive. Perfect. All right, everybody. The day's been cruising on. I have the tarp set up, a seat made. This is where I'm going to spend the night. As far as the area goes, it's nothing all that special. There's no crazy views or anything like that, but there's a feeling to it. I alluded to this earlier in this episode. When you're off trail in an unknown place, yeah, there's a certain level of excitement to it. It's very special. It is worth gaining some knowledge as far as reading a map goes, expanding your navigational skills to be able to come out and do something like this. It's worth the effort. Cheers. Oh man, it's looking rather nasty over this direction. Over here about the same. We have some blue sky over here. This is going to be one of those trips, folks. It may rain, it may not. I've been hearing thunder for the last hour or so, but so far it's been staying away from us. You can hear that clap right there. As it stands, folks, we are surrounded by storms. There's one over here that's going away from us, and it is rocking and rolling. But there's also another one over here that seems to be coming this way. As I'm making coffee here, I was thinking about our travels across the country. We were coming through Wyoming. After spending a few days there, we didn't film that, but we stopped at the gas station, and like on one side was a coffee shop. The other side was like a liquor store. And then in the middle was the convenience store. So we're pumping gas, and I see this vehicle pull in, and it's full of like Boy Scouts, right? So I'm pumping gas, the kids get out, and they walk straight into that liquor store. And all of a sudden they turn right around and come right back out. The entire time, whoever was like in charge of them wasn't watching. They were fairly young kids. It was pretty hilarious, actually. That makes me think back to when my son was young. We were out of town at some mall, and Susie and Maddie, they were shopping. Lucas and I, we were bumming around, and we walked past this store. I didn't look what it was. And inside was like a race car. It looked like you can get inside of it. So I'm like, oh, let's go check that out. So we walk in, and like this woman's like, oh, I don't think you should come in here with him. And I'm like, why not? What is this place? It wasn't Viagra, but it did the same thing. So that was pretty funny. Anyways, let's make this coffee. Coffee time, everyone. Cheers. Oh, man. It's pretty nasty. Just the way I like it. As you all can hear, it's raining. It's not very heavy, but it is coming down. There's now a thunderstorm behind us. I don't know if it's coming this way or not, but it's definitely active. This is a pretty nice spot, everyone. It's relatively flat, but also there's a nice breeze coming through, so I could stay cool. As far as the mosquitoes and the flies go, that activity has died down quite a bit. I was this close to getting a fire going. Now later on tonight, if everything goes according to plan, I will have a fire. It is wet enough that I can have one. That was actually a concern of mine before coming out here. This entire area is so dry. But luckily, last night it rained. It's raining now. I'm pretty sure we can get away with it unless it just pours. You never know. That might actually happen. By the way, everyone, I guess I should tell you all what this adventure is about, just in case you didn't see part one. Approximately a week and a half ago, Susie and I, we set out from North Carolina, and we made our way to South Dakota. From there, we camped out in the van for multiple days. We did some overlanding, had an amazing time. South Dakota is without a doubt one of my favorite states ever. It is so beautiful. Again, if you haven't watched part one, you definitely should, because wow, it is incredible. I will be back. There's no doubt about it. From South Dakota, we went into Wyoming, but we didn't film any of that. Then we headed down into Colorado. We are heading to a location to film a backpacking adventure. I'm not going to tell you all where it is in this episode, but at the very end of this episode, I will give you a huge hint. It is epic. Some people have never seen anything like this, I assure you. It is truly awesome. Susie and I were both tired from traveling, so we decided to take a day. She's taking it easy, and I came out here to do this camping trip. I'm not sure if you all can see it, but it is absolutely pouring outside of the forest here. Now I'm really glad that I came down from the top of that mountain. It was beautiful up there, but it was way too exposed. We should take a second and talk about storm camping. It is one of my favorite things to do. If you plan to do it, you'll love it. The thing is this, there's risk involved. There's a risk involved with anything and everything, but if you're gonna go out camping in storms, you have to realize that, yeah, there's a possibility you can get struck by lightning. You can do everything by the book, you can do everything right, and you can still get struck by lightning. So it's one of those things, risk versus reward. I apologize if I'm talking funny, I'm so out of breath. I'm out of breath, but I'm not having any sort of elevation sickness. I'm fine. I'm definitely out of breath. Speaking of which, we settled at 10,669 feet. It's getting active. There's a thunderstorm over here, and there's another one over here. They're just continuously like cycling and falling down. So, I don't know. What I do know is that it's getting quite chilly. I don't have a thermometer with me, so I'm not sure exactly what it is, but I'm glad to have this jacket, and I'm glad to have pants on. It's so dark, I went ahead and I fired up this lantern. For it to be 2:30 in the afternoon, it's dark. That storm over there, which seems to be getting closer to us, is rocking and rolling. I've seen a couple wicked flashes. As you all can hear, it's raining rather good. So far, no hail or anything like that. Yeah, it's coming down. There's been a shift in the wind. It's now coming this direction, and at times it's blowing moisture underneath this tarp, so I may need to lower this down. If I have to, I will. So far, it hasn't been a big deal, but I'm prepared to do so. Get ready, everyone. That lightning was right over there. There is a cell right back here, striking pretty close. So far though, staying nice and dry. The wind direction has changed again. Instead of coming this way, it's now going this way. That tells me that the atmosphere is unstable and that anything is possible. You all could see just how hard it's raining. Some of that is blowing in, so I went ahead and took my jacket and I covered up my gear just to keep everything dry. So much for having a fire tonight. That's now out of the question. Everything is soaking wet. Water's just pouring from the trees. There's nothing dry. It's raining so hard, in fact, it's like a river of water moving downhill. It is getting windy, but so far I'm staying dry right here in the center of this tarp. My gear is protected, so I'm in good shape. Folks, it is flooding up here. There's actually a torrent of water coming down the mountain. It's been raining hard for over an hour now. Just non-stop thunder. I'm not sure if you all can hear me, but it now sounds like there's a wicked storm right over here coming this way. Get ready. That was right over there. Close enough to make the hair on my arm stand up. As you all can see here, I've dug a little trench to divert the water over this direction. That way it doesn't go underneath my tarp. That way everything over here stays dry. I'm not exactly sure what the temperature is, but I can tell you that the rain is ice cold. By just digging that little trench there, my hand is frozen. Being caught out in this could be a death sentence. Hypothermia, just like that. It's almost 4 o'clock now. It's been raining for numerous hours. Just non-stop, storm after storm after storm. I wish I could show you all more than just this, but it is what it is. This is the only dry place for miles. When it comes to the van and Susie, she's roughly 3 miles away. This is the only dry place for 3 miles, in other words. I'm sure she's loving this. In the van, relaxing. She's warm. For a while there, I was beginning to get a headache. It could be a little bit of elevation sickness or possibly dehydration. Elevation sickness can be brought on by dehydration, so I'm making sure to drink quite a bit of water, and already I'm feeling better. I would send Susie a text to check on her, but unfortunately there is no service here. We are in a very remote area, so phones don't work. I'm sure she's doing well though. She can take care of herself. Susie's a very strong woman. There is absolutely nothing she can't do. That's for sure. I am going to have a real termite meal for dinner. I've never tried this. This is a chicken soup. We'll see how it is. Now it's pretty funny, folks. Recently, I received an email from, what was the guy's name? I think it was like Marcus or something or other. I don't quite remember exactly. But anyways, this guy, he sent me an email and he was so upset. I mean, he was like cursing. He's really upset that I eat real termite meals and other freeze-dried meals. He says that they are packed full of chemicals, just full of garbage, and I had to school him a little bit because unfortunately he didn't know what he was talking about. When it comes to freeze-dried meals, oftentimes these have less chemicals and additives than like stuff you would buy at the grocery store, and that's because it's freeze-dried. The process of freeze-drying a meal means basically you have those basic ingredients. They're freeze-dried, and they need very few chemicals to actually make this work. Now, of course, that's not the case with all freeze-dried meals. Like the really cheap ones, those Wise meals are complete garbage all the way around. Nothing about those is real, but with real termite, 99% of the ingredients are recognizable. There's only 2 things on here which are like chemicals actually. So it's chicken, salt, pepper, then you have the stabilizer, E450, E451, coconut milk, rapeseed oil, wheat flour, bell pepper, onion, leek, soy sauce, soy, salt, vinegar, lime juice, chicken bouillon, blah, 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 blah. You can see it on the screen here. The E450 and the E451, basically those go into reconstituting this meal. Whatever that is, basically allows it to be reconstituted. You can look all this stuff up if you want to. So I wrote this guy back, I schooled him a little bit, and boy did that piss him off. And I had a fantastic time talking to this guy. He was so sensitive, so emotional. It was really funny. He did not like being educated. He really got upset about that. And anytime that I brought up a point to correct something that he said, he would move on to something else. That was most interesting, most humorous. Send me your address, dude. I'll send you a box of tissues, man. I have this chicken soup here. We'll see just how filling this is. I do have an extra meal if I need it. I have to be honest, I'm getting tired. Sitting underneath this tarp for most of the day, with it raining, has made me sleepy. I'm about ready to hop into my sleeping bag, get warm and comfortable. Alright, let's go ahead and try this soup. That is not what I expected. I mean, that is really, really good. This tastes like a meal called Chicken Supreme. I'll have to make Chicken Supreme in the future, maybe at the cabin. It is so good. This is like a variation of it, more of like a soup. It's fantastic. This chicken soup is a whole lot more hearty than I expected it to be. I think at least for now, I'm not going to need anything else. I was hoping to do a little bit more exploring, but I don't think that's going to happen. It looks like we're just socked in, but hey, at least I'll sleep good tonight. As I get ready for bed, I'm going to lower this tarp down so I can have more protection. I might even close up one or maybe even both sides, create doors. That way I can limit airflow and splashback inside of here. My setup tonight is very simple. It's a simple bug tent that I'm going to attach to the tarp. Very simple, very minimal. Well, folks, it is time for bed. It is 8:40. It's getting dark out there. It's still raining, just sprinkling away. It has not stopped all day long. It has just non-stop thunderstorm after thunderstorm after thunderstorm. I'm impressed. That was good. I did not expect that, but hey, fantastic. I did check the weather before I left, and it said there was a chance of storms, but it wasn't all that great. It was only like 40% chance. This is the sort of setup that I love. You have the full protection of the tarp, the airflow of a bug tent. It's perfect. Right now it's about 58 degrees. All I have to do is just hop inside of my sleeping bag here and call it a night. Which I think I will do right now. Hopefully it stops raining by morning. That way I have a dry hike out of here. It's interesting how the forest unfolds from this point. As you come down here, it opens up, and the forest floor is very unique. There's very little underbrush, so it's like you can basically just walk anywhere you want to. It's pretty cool. We certainly don't have anything like that in North Carolina. In fact, with our forests, you really can't walk through them. There's too many briars, too much brush, too many bushes, and so on. Everyone, I'm going to say goodnight for now. Good night. We'll see you all in the morning. I'm looking forward to going to sleep, listening to the rain. Good night, everybody. See you soon. Good grief. You guys hear that? It sounds like that coyote's like right over there. It's close. I'm going back to bed. That woke me up though. Startled me too, actually. Sound like a freaking wolf. I don't think there's wolves out here. Could be wrong, but I don't think so. Yeah. Good night, everybody. Back to sleep. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Oh, man. I slept in. It is 8:25 in the morning. I slept really, really good last night. I mean, I went to bed like, I don't know, 9 o'clock, something like that. Passed out, I think it was about 2:30, heard that coyote. And ever since then, it's just been quiet. It got really foggy last night after the rain stopped. And now it's just kind of breezy, cool, very cool. I'd say the temps are in the 40s right now. It's that chilly. I have, without a doubt, pushed the limits of my swag man roll. I was a little bit chilly until the sun started to come up. But hey, that's okay. This trip was all about going minimal. That's what I did. Very lightweight. I wanted to move fast, and I was able to. Let's get up, everybody. I want to show you all this open forest, what I call the open forest. It's really neat. So, let's get some coffee. I hear you. While I'm warming up the water for coffee, I'm going to take the time and dry off my tarp. This is nice, everybody. Very nice. I have the tarp all wiped down. It's drying. Coffee's made. Cheers, everyone. Cheers. Ah, yeah. That's good. For this morning, I'm going to hurry and get out of here. And there's multiple reasons why. First off, the mosquitoes and the black flies will be out soon. Right now it's a little bit too cold, but they're coming. Next, I want to get back to Susie, get to the van. There's a mosquito, a couple of mosquitoes. We have roughly a 4-hour drive to our next destination. And folks, it is going to be incredible. Just wait. Oh yeah, the mosquitoes are out. I see them flying around already. Put my collar up, protect my neck. Last night, I had all sorts of crazy dreams. I would wake up and my heart would be racing. That happens every single time that I'm at high elevation. It doesn't fail. I've definitely felt this elevation more so than the previous trips. I'm still winded, super winded. It's like I'm drying off the tarp and I'm huffing and puffing, right? By the way, everyone, this is my setup. Tarp, bug net, a half pad, swagman roll, and then the hot shot bag in the back. Very minimal setup. Most of the weight that I was carrying was water. I didn't have time to look at the map in good enough detail to figure out if there's a water source nearby, so I just cameled up. This was more of like a spontaneous trip. We were coming through the area. I love the Pike National Forest. So yeah, we had the time, pulled over, did the trip. I tell you what, we have the time because our kids are grown. We have no ties back at home. And because of that, Susie and I can basically go do anything that we want to. That's pretty cool. I've been asked whether or not Susie and I have like empty nest syndrome. No way, not at all. I tell you what, we raised our kids to be independent. And that started at a very young age. And when you teach your kids to be independent, they become responsible. Certain things go hand in hand. So both of our kids are off living their lives, doing their thing. Just in case you don't know, our daughter's in the Navy. Our son, he's at college. And yeah, everybody's doing great. Susie and I are doing great. We're out exploring. Cheers to exploring, everyone. It is non-stop planes up here. The airport must have just opened, okay? Because it's just non-stop. Alright everyone, while I finish up my coffee, I'm going to break everything down, pack it up. Let's get to hiking. We have someplace we need to be in a couple of hours. I've been hiking for half a mile now, getting over the top of that hill. I didn't film that, so you all didn't have to listen to me huff and puff. Because I was. With this forest here, what I call the open forest, at some point in time, it's been logged. And because of that, it's open. It is so easy to go anywhere you want. Look at that. It's pretty cool. I am heading down here. No matter where you go here, it will hit a road. And from there, I can make it back to the van. Make it back to Susie. Thank you all so much for joining me for this trip. This was a great one. That was one intense line of storms that came through yesterday. That was sweet. Here in a minute, I'll be down to the road. I'll say goodbye. And then Susie and I will begin our travels to our next destination. And again, everyone, this place is going to be epic. Epic. Hopefully, the weather will cooperate. We shall see. Huh. Okay. I did not see this when I came in. So apparently I'm not the only one who likes to go up into the mountains here. Check it out. Someone's been building a teepee. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. To me, this screams, we got started, we saw how much work it was going to take, and they stopped. Oftentimes when it comes to shelters like this, you think it's going to be easy. You think you're going to do it in no time. No, that's not the case. If you have an army of people working together, you could do something like that in a few hours. But otherwise, it's going to take a long time. I can tell that that is super, super, super old. Not by the teepee itself, but by everything else. So here on the ground, we have some firewood. It has begun to rot. Over here is a fire pit. And there hasn't been a fire in this in over 5 years. Easy. Okay, I actually see the road down there, so I'm headed the right direction. Let's go and wrap this up, folks. Before I say goodbye, I would like to encourage all of you to begin working on expanding your navigation skills. Look locally for someone who can teach you. Look for a class. Trust me, you'll be thankful that you did it. It will open up a world of possibilities as far as adventure goes. With the trails being so busy these days, so overrun, with locations like this, you're not going to see anyone. You're going to be able to get away, be by yourself, and have an amazing time. My friends, the adventure ends here. I will see you in the next one, coming up next week. If you enjoyed this episode, hit the thumbs up. If you like, you can support the Outdoor Gear Review, Patreon, YouTube. You can join the Wolf Pack. Join the family. Take care, be well, strength and honor. Let's drive.
Can't resist you, I'm giving up, I'm giving up. I am stuck in a dreaming, I can't help what I'm feeling. I don't know if I'm breathing when you are with me, my heart is beating. I am stuck in a dreaming, I can't help what I'm feeling. I don't know if I'm breathing when you are with me, my heart is beating. I'm giving up, I'm giving up, getting into you. Can't resist you, I'm giving up, I'm giving up. I am stuck in a dreaming, I can't help what I'm feeling.